make your day richer than it was before. Got some good times knocking upon your front door.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Make Your Day Richer. I'm Richard Wilmore, and my guest today makes my day richer all the time. I'm pretty sure Ben is one of the biggest supporters of this show. He's always sharing it on his social media, and I appreciate that. And so when your new book came out, I reached out and was like, you have to come back. You've been on the old show a couple times, and you have all of a sudden multiple books coming out. Ben, what's going on? You're in a creative spirit lately, huh?
It's a lot. It's fun, but it's a lot. It's a lot of because usually my books before I juggle one at a time, and this is the first time I'm like multiple projects, because I think last time we talked, I showed you my art for the other book I was working on, and I'm still working on that one. That one hasn't really that hasn't been finished at all. It took a little bit of a backseat to the one that's coming out soon, but it's because it's so big. So I was like, there's no rush for this one because it's got art. So I got to write the stories and then do art. So on top of it. So that one takes a lot of work.
Do you have any, like, that's just, it's going to come. I love, this is what I love. One of the things I love about you is that, like, there's so much creativity there. And I love that you give yourself space to create what you need to create, right? Like this book, the book you're talking about, like it's taking longer and you're just giving yourself that space instead of forcing yourself into it.
Yeah. Because when you look at it, I mean, I want it really badly. I really want the book out, but I'm like, there's literally no reason to rush it. So it seems like a meaningless, thing to stress out over. It's going to happen. It's coming, and it's tied to like 2 other books as well. So that's why it's such a big thing that I'm like, that's a whole phase of stuff. So I'm just gonna this one that I wrote recently was like, this was mine. This was just for me to like take a break from, like, I've been doing the other book for like 2-3 years, I think, since like around COVID started. Yeah, but it's because there's art. There's like I've drawn like over 200 monsters and demons for this like it's a spell witchcraft kind of book. So when you see like in the Evil Dead, the Necronomicon, and it's got the evil spells for it, and it tells you what the demon's about, and it has the art of the demon and all the symbols, I'm drawing all of that. So I'm drawing monsters, I'm drawing like witchcrafty looking symbols that I've developed. And sometimes I redraw stuff because I change my mind later on. And I go, I want to make it look this way. So because of the art, that's what slows it down. The writing's pretty, like, the writing is the easiest part. It's all the art that's like taking a lot of time. So I'm like, don't rush it. If I get creative ideas that change, because I'm glad that took time, because when I get creative ideas to change something, because I'm taking my time, I'm like, oh, I don't have to settle on what I drew. I can go, you know what? I think I have a different idea. I want to add horns, or I want to take away the extra eyes or something. And I can make creative changes to how they look, and sometimes even like their dynamics. So because I'm taking my time on it, it's better for me. It's going to create a better, content for the whole story.
What I also love, and if you follow Ben on social media, you kind of share that process when you're changing stuff, when you make decisions like that. Like, you're showing us kind of as you're creating things, which I think is cool to see, that like behind the scenes and the thought process behind making a book like that.
Yeah. I take one recent one was I took the picture of my notes at night on my phone, because I knew there was going to be a sequel to this one for Choking on Jellyfish. It's going to have a sequel called The Devil Threw a Stone. And I was at night, like, I was this whole week struggling with the title for it. And, great ideas come at night. And I'm a night owl. So this was like really late at night. And I was laying there and just, okay, I got it. And I wrote the notes because I'm like, I'm going to forget. So I always write my notes on my phone real quick. And you'll look at them sometimes if they're scatterbrained. They can be really weird. But I like sharing that because I'm like, well, writing, I know it's just, it's big in academics, but it's also, we kind of forget that it is an art you're playing with. You know,
Yeah.
it's a different kind of canvas. So I like the idea of like showing the little messes that you make before you go, okay, let's change that a little bit. Or because that cool mess, I got into a weird idea. So I like all that stuff, like sharing it with people.
Talk about the new book, Choking on Plastic Jellyfish, and then we have huge news to also announce today as well. So talk about the book.
Well, it's pretty much done. I brought the 2 copies with me. I'm literally just wrapping up the last 2 chapters editing. This is my final edits. So I went through it, did my revisions. Mostly I focus on revisions, but I also look at little editing. My editor is at the same time going through it as well. He did his edits, and now this is my final edits of like just sentence changes, word changes, anything like that. It's little stuff now. So, but I have to reread it and look for the little things. So I got that almost done. Choking on. Here's my favorite though. This is the hardcover. This is going to be the first hardcover book I've ever released. So I'm super excited. I love.
What number book is this? What number book is this?
Oh, they're right here. Let's see. 1, 2. Yeah, 5.
Wow.
Yeah. Printed books. I have one that's just an ebook that I first wrote years ago. But yeah, 5 of actual printed books. So.
And what's the book about?
This is my ode to Texas. I wanted to write like a classic piece of science literature, and I'm a huge fan of a book called Roadside Picnic. And Roadside Picnic inspired like modern games like Metro Exodus and Metro Dying Light, all the Metro series, and Stalker, which is like a big game to PC people. It's basically the concept. If you know, like you've probably seen movies where people sneak into Chernobyl and look at, you know me, this goes into my whole roots of I love
I was going to ask about that too, if that was still happening. We'll get to that before we leave. Yes.
People have always been telling me you need to write, because I go into underground tunnels here in San Antonio because I'm weird. And people are like, you should write about the tunnel kind of stuff. And I've always been fascinated with tunnels and underground places. So this is kind of like my chance. I was like, oh, if I write my own version of Roadside Picnic here in Texas and make it a unique version of that kind of concept that's been, because ever since Roadside Picnic did it, like I said, it inspired a lot of other people to kind of make their own versions. And I was like, well, I want to make one that's authentically like here and me and my culture and things I know. So I put my grandma as the secondary main character. The main character is partially me, but he's the one leading us into this weird work. He's a guide in the story, and in the book he's a guide. You see, basically the idea is out in the desert near Big Bend between Mexico and America, they built an experimental facility for energy, and the idea is it was going to be infinite energy, and so it was like a big deal. And then it had a meltdown. Since the meltdown happened, a lot of people died during the meltdown. And so there's only a few people left who know the campus grounds of this facility. And our main character, Paz, is one of these dudes who knows. He was a groundskeeper, so he knows the area. And he, throughout like the time of this, since the event of the meltdown, he's become a guide who knows all the strange anomalies that happen from this weird meltdown from this experimental facility. And there's like anomalies are like there's things in the sky that suck you up and rip you to shreds. There's like black hole shadows. Like if you stick your finger into the shadow thing and come out there, you have like it's like a clean cut. It's like a black hole kind of thing. There's bubbles that float and they're explodable. There's little blisters of metal that'll melt you. So there's all these weird things on the campus. And he meets Aurora, who is based on my grandma, named after my grandma. And she comes saying that her daughter is somewhere on that campus and she needs him as her guide to go get the daughter and see where he's at. Of course, the circumstances is the government's not cool with people just letting him do this. So it's all illegal. And so he has to illegally get onto the campus and go to the core, which is probably the most dangerous part because that's the heart of the meltdown. So it's like basically they're going on a suicide mission to see if they can find this daughter. And it's all his personal life stuff involved of him, kind of going up against this, like we might die, like we're going to go here and die. And it's him dealing with all that stuff while He's with this little spiteful old lady sometimes. This hilarious old lady who's based on my grandma. So I like that because me and my grandma have a great dynamic. So I was like, oh, that would be a great character dynamic, is throw us in the desert together at this weird urbex creepy underground facility that's abandoned. That's it. That's it in a nutshell.
Where can people get the book?
It'll be on Amazon. Eventually it gets put on Barnes and Nobles like a few months after. So it'll be, Amazon's going to be the first place to get it. Do you want me to tell the release date?
Yes, of course.
Are we dropping? Okay, I wanted to drop it here with my boy Rich. And the release date, my man, is September 2nd. September 2nd, it comes out.
Next week.
Yep. So it's coming out. It'll be perfect for that. It's great timing. You know, we're going to get that. We're going to get the book signings and everything. I'm getting all that put in order.
Oh,
so
good.
we can do something, hopefully again at the Pearl here in San Antonio. They've been really good to local writers, including me. They're wonderful. So I like always going and doing my first big book release with them. So I'll also bring my other books for that as well. But yeah, and then like I said, we'll have hardcover copies. These nice, hefty, I love it. This big hefty book now. It's a great feeling. Like I'm like, oh man, this is cool. So yeah, those copies are there too.
Nothing like a physical book, like a physical hard copy, right? Or hardback.
Like I got excited for just like, this was like my first print, and I was like, whoa. And then now I've come to this, which for me also, I think about the one I was talking about earlier, Book of the Kingfisher, which is that Necronomicon style book. And I'm like, yay, it'll be a hard, like, it feels like a witchcraft book. It'll have that weight, and it's going to be much bigger and thicker than this. So I'm like, yes, it's going to feel like a tome, you know?
Like the whole experience from all of it, from the book itself to what's inside the book.
Yeah, just seeing it on the computer to that.
Yeah. Where can people find you and connect with you to make sure they're going to your book signings and keeping up with you?
I'm on social media. Let's see, Diego Long. I change it up a little bit. Let me make sure. I'm gonna double check it.
I'll put the newest one when this comes out.
Instagram is Padre Longoose. You can also go to C. Ross Publishing. That's the website. Just has the book stuff. But my personal one is Padre Longoose, and it's the same on TikTok. I post just my life, not just author stuff, because I do other things. But if you look, like a lot of the things I do, like the urbexing, inspires what I end up writing. So, you know, like there's a full story there going on. You can also reach C. Ross Publishing at Gmail to send any messages or requests or anything like that.
Wonderful. Ben, thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, man. Always. I love being here. You're one of my favorite guys.
I love it. And congrats on the new book next week. How exciting. So make sure you go in the comments or the show notes and pre-order the book. We'll be right back after this.
In this world of innovation, would you rather have an old, outdated flip phone or a brand new iPhone? A horse and buggy carriage or the newest luxury hybrid? A dial-up router with your AOL account or a super fast Wi-Fi hotspot? With nutrition, what you have been using or taking up until now hasn't been bad. There's just something newer. We all appreciate advancements in science and technology. In the same way we seek the best and newest in our electronics, vehicles, and everyday conveniences, wouldn't you also want the best technology and newest innovation for your nutrition and supplementation? At the time, you may have had the best from what was out there and available. Now, there is something better and newer, more bioavailable, more convenient, better tasting, faster acting. It literally is the equivalent to getting an IV full of high-tech nutrients right into your bloodstream, without the needle, without the appointment, without being attached to anything for a specific length of time. Simply pop these tasty, all-natural lozenges into your mouth and savor as they instantly start to absorb into your bloodstream through your mucous membranes. That's it. And with the added benefit of negative ions, in other words, energy, there isn't anything else out there on the market like it. Now is the time to switch to the next improvement and innovation in health and nutrition. It's time for advancement. It's time for better. It's time for APL Go and our Rapid Botanical DNA Drops.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you had a great weekend. I did. But I have to admit something. I have a new guilty pleasure TV show that I watch, and I'm kind of embarrassed to tell you, but I also want to know who else is listening or watching it because it's consuming a lot of my time, but it also is so good and so awful at the same time. Is anybody watching 90 Day Fiance the other way? This show is the worst show. And these people, so it's I don't know, 90 Day Fiance is basically you find like people are dating people from other countries and they move there and they have 90 days to get married, otherwise their visas expire. And I think I'm far behind on seasons because right now I'm with Jenny, who just went over back to India for the third time to be with her fiance boyfriend Sumit, who has lied to her that he was married, had lied to his family, lied about who he was. He catfished her before when they first started dating, and she's now back over there, and he's apparently going through a divorce. But she finally just got proof. But that's not the point. It's like the craziest show. Or I think it's Devin, who is like 23. She now has 2 children. She had a one-night stand while she was in Korea. And now she's moving over there with her 2 children to be with this guy who doesn't have a job. It's insane to me, but it's so fascinating to watch because I just can't believe it. And they don't talk about anything. Like, they get there and then they start talking about, well, did you get us a house to live in? No, you didn't. Oh, no, you don't have any money. And I'm like, there are no conversations between the two of you before you get on a plane and fly around the world and spend who knows how much money to get there. And they're quitting their jobs. It's so insane to me. So insane. Okay, anyway, if you're watching that, please let me know if you are, because I need to like vent to someone. So there was a time a long time ago when Rosie's show was on, and we all know that I'm trying to get Rosie O'Donnell on this show. So if you would like to start a, I don't know, TikTok campaign about this, I'd be happy. But there was a time when her show was very popular and they basically put her photo on anything to try to sell it. And this was something I found on eBay. This is very old, but it's basically a keychain. I don't even know what it is. And then you look into it and this picture pops up from the movie Beautiful Girls. And that's it. But I have no idea. I, as a 12-year-old, decided I would spend my hard-earned lawn mowing money on this. I don't even know if I had a car at the time. But anyway, I own this. And this photo is in it. No idea why. Okay, that's it. If you would like to be a guest on this show, and who would? If you're out there doing good things, send me an email at makeyourdayricher@gmail.com and tell me why you should be on the show, and you could be right here and have lots of fun in front of a lot of people. And if you'd like to get your business in front of a lot of people, you should become an advertiser. And you can also do that at makeyourdayricher@gmail.com. Okay. I think that's it. Tomorrow we have a really, really good show. John Lee Campbell is here. She's the founder of a nonprofit called Differently Abled Entertainment, and they work with disabled people to get them in the entertainment business, and they advocate for people with disabilities to be hired in the entertainment business. And she's going to be here tomorrow, so tune in to that. She's great, great, great woman, and I'm excited for you to meet her. So go check them out, Differently Abled Entertainment. And we will see you here tomorrow on an all-new show. All right? Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.